resistor that we soldered in, and on the back side you can see the solders that we were able to achieve are actually very, very precise. This one on this side popped out when I was trimming the wire, but on the right hand side, the actual sod on the PCB board does not extend outside of the predetermined area for soldering.
Okay. So you ready, Patrick? It's gonna.
Yep.
So yeah, the test cases that we submitted are just like regular usage, including the stepper, the stepper system, as well as the lock motion when you log your motion. And we also have some abnormal cases, such as moving outside of the area where the limit switches would stop the motion.
So in this case, Patrick will be soldering an LED.
Right. So overall motion of the object, we have the slave arm right here with the soldering iron fixed at our predetermined angle. This arm right here is going to be our master. So as I move the master around, the slave arm will follow the exact motion that I'm doing, and it has quite a wide range of motion, as you can see, and it's very quick. So if we are actually moving very fast, then it's not a big issue for the arm to actually catch up. And as we keep mentioning, we do have a lock function, so the button right on the left-hand side of this, we can push that button and it locks the slave in place. And then if I drastically move this, I can push it again and it will slowly come to where I'm at instead of snapping if we didn't have that glide function. So if I needed to lock it, it's locked. I can move my wires, change anything around that I need to, and then I can even position it a little bit better, put it back, and we're back to just our regular following. The actual slider right here, the stepper motor is connected to a screw on the bottom, which will move this whole PCB board right and left, which is connected to these two buttons right up on my hand. So if I want to move it to my right, I push the button on the right hand side, and the whole PCB board on that sled will move to the right. We also have these limit switches on the right and the left, so if I move this to the left to the point where this limit switch engages, it will stop the motion of the actual stepper motor. So if I just want to show you that right now, I'm still holding down the button, but it's inhibiting the stepper motor from moving because the limit switch is engaged. And by just using straight limit switches, we don't need to be able to track where we are on the sled. We can just say if we're hitting a switch, don't move. So that accounts for the ability for our sled to be different lengths, including the PCB board. So if I want to start soldering this, bring it over to where the solder is. Okay, this needs to be a little bit further away. And so we'll just bring it over to there. Sod out.
I don't know if you can see it, but Patrick's hand, even though he's got fairly steady hands, is wavering, and the assistant is.
And so even if my hand is shaky, it filters out the actual shake quite a bit. So if I'm someone who doesn't have very steady hands, I'm still shaking this quite a lot, and the bead is staying very steady. So shaking my hand as much as I feel comfortable doing right now, just going to shake that, continue doing that, and we can actually still solder very, very, very steadily. Soldering that LED right on there. Okay, and then we're done. I pull it back. We still have a hot soldering iron. I don't want that to hit the table. I'll go ahead and lock it. Set this down. Move our board away from the hot soldering iron. So now this is still locked. The arm's good. Pull this out of our spring load. And there's a soldered LED. And even though on that second solder my hand was wavering quite a bit, those are fairly precise soldering beads that we have.
Yeah, that's impressive. Yeah, if You finish the job from the first step to the last step.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mhm.